Hi, my name's Tim, also known as Don Fay, and for those of you who don't know me, I'm a reggae musician and producer and vinyl cutter based in Spain. I'm here to present the Don Fay Stems project. The original project was started mid-March at the beginning of the outbreak of coronavirus and lockdown in the form of a Facebook page where I uploaded a series of stems, which are individual tracks which go together to form a song, to a server where people could download them and mix them in their own houses. And they could also then put on their own instruments, sing over them, play their instruments over them, remix them, do whatever they want with them, really. And without really doing anything with it apart from just uploading tracks, there's now about 800 members, just under. This is the end of May, and we're coming to the end of lockdown here in Spain, God willing. So the idea originally was just to do it until the end of lockdown, but I've had quite a few messages, emails from people asking me what I'm going to do with it, when I'm going to carry on, asking me to carry it on. I'd just like to say, it's as well as it's been a positive experience for a lot of people mixing and downloading the stems, it's also been a really positive experience for me creating the stems, as it's been a long time that I haven't even had to think about sales or anything like that, marketing. It's just a matter of doing music for music's sake and giving it away so people can enjoy it. And that is something that I really missed. So yeah, I would also like to thank everyone for their vibe in the page. So yeah, because of this feedback that I've got back, and because really some of the stuff that we've done on the page has been seriously high level of music, I would like to carry it on. Now, a while ago, a friend of mine mentioned something called Patreon. So I am going to try and incorporate this into what we're doing. As you can see, I've made a Don Fay Stems Patreon page. Basically, Patreon works on the basis of tiers. Tiers are what the creator offers to their patrons. So here I've got three basic tiers. We've got official Don Fay Stems patron, unlimited amount of members. Then we got official Don Fay Dubplate patron, that can only have 50. And then we got official Don Fay production, and that can only have 5. So what I'm going to do now is go over really tier by tier and explain a bit about what I'm thinking of trying to do. Before I go into it, I would love to keep this as a free service, but I can't. Each track basically, takes me around 3 days to do, upload and everything. And during lockdown, the majority of my free time has been dedicated to this, which is good. It kept me busy, kept me positive. But obviously that's not something that I can carry on doing indefinitely. So with that in mind, I'm going to try and keep this as cheap as possible. So the first tier is going to be $1.99 a month, and that's basically the same as what we've got now. I can't guarantee any more than one tune a month, but I will definitely upload one tune a month in the same stem format as I always have done, and also the mixes so that people can just directly sing over them. And I'm going to add something else, which is upload stem groups for people that are just getting started on mixing. A lot of people have said to me that they find it really hard to mix all the drums together to get the right balance. So I'm going to give them the possibility to listen to a reference and also to use that reference if they find it easier. So I'll be mixing like individual tracks, a rhythm mix, probably throw in a dub, and I'll also throw in stem groups, which will be drums on one, bass, rhythm section, guitars, piano, organs, etc. on another. So it's just a little bit easier to do if you're just starting off. Then obviously you can upload your stems if you feel to, so that other people can download them and mix them into their versions. And you can use your mixes really for whatever you want. I've got no problem with this at all. A couple of people have asked me, if they could even sell them. I've got no problem with people selling the mixes at all. The only thing is they've also obviously got to advise and got to give the credits for being a registered tune, which is PRS registered. But anyway, there will be more details of that later. But yeah, you can do whatever you want really with the tunes. Okay, so that's tier 1, as I say, there is, you know, an unlimited amount of places on tier 1, just as there is on the Facebook page, and $1.99 a month. I can't really do it any cheaper than that. I think that's a fair price, really. Okay, so now we go on to tier 2, which is the dub plate section. This has only got 50 places, and what I'm basically offering is the chance to get all the same benefits as tier 1, plus I will cut 7-inch dub plate on polyvinyl of 2 of your mixes or 2 of the mixes that you've got permission to have cut onto polyvinyl. And you get everything as well from the other tier, which will also include probably some how-to making videos and things like that, you know, so I can get into some details a bit slowly but surely on how I go about building these stems, and so you can actually, you know, get a hands-on view of it. So now we're going to move on to tier 3, and this is the Don Fay production patron. This is basically 4 hours of one-on-one tutorials a month via Skype or Zoom or whatever platform you want to use with high quality audio. I'll go more into that in a later point. 4 hours a month. Timetable's flexible. You can do it 1 4-hour session, 2 2-hour session, 4 1-hour sessions. Just something we've got to work out, agree on when we can meet, and take it from there. One thing to bear in mind if you are interested in this tier is the equipment I use. I use Logic to build my stems on. I don't use Pro Tools. I don't use Reason. I use Logic. That's the program I know how to use. So if you're a Pro Tools user and you want help with Pro Tools, or the same with Reason, I am not the person to ask. So this is not the thing for you. But if you do want to learn about plugins, about maybe a bit of outboard as well, mixing techniques, mastering techniques, dubbing techniques, and anything which is related to Logic, then this might be the tier if you're interested. Okay, so those are basically the 3 tiers. Now, apart from tiers, Patreon also has what are called goals. Now, goals are objectives that you set on according to how many patrons you have. So I've basically said from 1 to 400 or 1 to 399 patrons, I will be offering what I've just explained in tier 1. Just basically minimum of 1 rhythm a month, broken down into stem format, stem groups, stereo mixes as well. And then once we get on to 400 people, I will upload 2 rhythms, because obviously that will mean that I can afford to spend more time dedicating myself to this group, which I really would love to. And I will also go into doing a more in-depth making of video, which you will be able to vote on which of the 2 tracks you would like to have that video made of. So after we got that, we got goal 2, which is when we reach 600 patrons. This is where, to me, it starts to get really interesting. This is the big change from the Facebook page. On Patreon, basically, you can vote. So I'm going to set up another poll once we reach 600, if we reach 600 patrons, where we can vote, or you can vote, on a singer to choose to voice the rhythm. Obviously, I will have spoken to the singers before, and there will be a choice of singers. And then with that, the Patreon page will pay for the singers. I know it will be no extra charge, but you'll also have vocal stems. You know, so if you've got any favourite singers out there that you'd be interested in seeing or hearing on a track, then, you know, we can always include that into the system, so that maybe one day we can get their vocals on there and everyone can mix them. Okay, then we go on to what happens when we have 800 patrons. So 800 patrons, you are getting 2 rhythms minimum, a singer, and also now there will be another poll to choose a producer to do a 3rd rhythm. So this gets really interesting, because then we can go to different studios, get different sounds. So then you're talking 3 rhythms a month. 1 with a singer on, and 1 produced by someone who is not me. So you're getting a bit of variety in there. And then finally, if we ever, as a community, manage to reach 1,200 patrons, I think it is high time that something would be given back to, above all, the Jamaican community that have given us so much joy and pleasure and shared their culture with us. So if we reach 1,200 patrons, I guarantee I will put aside €400 minimum a month in order to help projects that need financial help. Obviously, there is going to be a bit of importance and a bit of emphasis placed on giving something back to Jamaica, which is cultural, educational. Basically, once again, if you have projects that you know of that are in anywhere really in the world, but I would like to give something back to Jamaica as they have given me personally, and I do believe everyone else so much. So I think, this would be a lovely thing to do. If we ever do reach this, then it would be an absolute blessing, because it means I could really quite seriously spend the majority of my month doing this project. I've really kind of fallen in love with this project. So, yeah, that's basically it. Thanks for listening to all of this if you managed to make it to the end. And yeah, go and check out my Patreon page, and let's keep the vibes flowing. Okay.